34%, but if you're tracking the New York Times, they have it roughly at about almost 50% and reporting. But Abby is right now at about just under 18,000 votes, and so unless something big happens from the other numbers, it looks like Abby's pretty much going to pull this thing out. So before everybody started leaving, I just wanted to be able to say something and just thank you all, first of all, for coming out and spending this evening with me. You know, when we started this race some time ago, it was with the idea that we would be able to go to Washington to serve the citizens of this district, and today we still feel that that's the most important thing that Iowans deserve to have in Washington, representing them every day. And so we certainly want to say some thank yous to all of the volunteers and supporters that have helped us throughout the campaign. You know, I can't thank Carlos enough for all the work that he's done to really be right there with me from the very beginning. Jonathan and Rashad, you know, for really giving of themselves to really come in and really help manage the day-to-day so that we can keep going. And then, you know, my uncle a year ago when I told him that I was thinking about entering this race, he said, "Let's do it." And so he jumped on a plane with me and flew to Washington, D.C., and we sat down and talked to some folks about this idea of entering this race. And so, you know, every day, you know, I've been on the phone talking to him about, you know, what we're doing and all the things that we've encountered all throughout the campaign. And then, you know, I certainly have to thank my mother, you know, for, you know, always being supportive. Listen, if nobody believes in you, your mother does.
Yes.
And so my mother has believed in me since birth, and so that's, you know, always refreshing to be able to know that you have the support of your mother. And then, you know, I really have to thank Swati, who has really been a very good coach for me over the last 8 months. You know, this is certainly a very tricky slope to be able to jump into a congressional race and take on this type of race at the very beginning. And, you know, I remember when Swati first called and said, "Hey, listen, I want to sit down and talk to you. I want to talk to you about what you're doing." And, you know, from that moment, she says, "Listen, you can win." And so every day, you know, she has provided that tutelage that we've needed to be able to really get through what we needed to get through, many of the obstacles, many of the things that we didn't understand that were happening, you know, coming from Washington or happening here, you know, within the state. And, you know, so she's just been really good about helping to really, you know, keep me focused on what we needed to do to be able to be here today. And then certainly, you know, I left last, you know, my wife, you know, who when I told her I wanted to do this, you know, told me, "Look, if you're going to do it, do it." But at the time, I don't think she realized I was going to quit my job or leave my job, and you know, and all of the sacrifices that we were going to put into it, and you know, our daughter sacrificed, our son, you know, sacrificed, and here we are, you know, still feeling that, you know, we've had the right message to be able to reach the people here in Iowa, to be able to do what we set out to do in the very beginning. And then last but not least, I want to thank all of you, all of the supporters, you know, those of you who have hosted events for us, those of you who have knocked on doors, who have made telephone calls, who have prayed for us, I mean, who have done any and everything to be able to help us to be able to get to this point so that we had a chance. And so it just feels really good, you know, knowing that you have people that are in your corner, people that are supporting you. And so tomorrow, you know, we're gonna shut it down, but we're gonna send a message out to certainly everyone that has voted for us to let them know that now it's time for us to heal the fractures that we have within this party, because we have some fractures within the Democratic Party. You know, those numbers may indicate that there's one candidate who is winning, but there's really 4 different you know, parties within this Democratic Party that have to heal in order for us to win in November. And if we can't do that, we won't win in November. And so I'll be reaching out to Abby and her team, and certainly thanking Thomas and Courtney for the work that they've done campaigning over the last year. But it's time for Iowa to win, and it's certainly time for us to beat Rob Blunt in November. And so look, this is just a start. We've still got 4 more months of campaigning that have to go on to be able to win in November. And so we've got to beat Rob Blunt. That's been the end state all along. And so we've got to make sure that we have a candidate, that the candidate that gets this nomination is in the right place to be able to do that. And so hopefully they'll take some support from people outside of their team to be able to do that. And if they do, we'll win. And so but thank you very much, and thank all of you for coming out tonight.